Hello. Today I want to talk about doing one thing at a time. I know in this day and age of technology and distraction, we love to multitask. We think it's possible, and many of us think we're good at it. But that's a fallacy. In truth, we can only really do one thing really well at a time. In order to do more than one thing at a time, a lot of times we have to split our attention. And then you're never really with either of the two things. It's kind of like, because I do it myself, I was watching TV the other night with my wife. It was not really holding my full attention. I didn't fully care about the show. And so I started checking my email and playing a game or something on my iPad at the same time. Now, in very short order, I looked up and something had happened in the show, but I didn't see it, and so I didn't know how we got to where we were at. And that's the way multitasking works. In order to do more than one item, you're pulling your attention away from one and putting on another. And if you try to pull attention from both to kind of pay attention, equal attention to both, you're not really fully aware of what's going on with either. And so it's kind of a learning to let go of this, I guess, desire or want to do more than one thing at once, and just stick with the fully experiencing of what is going on at the moment. The real trick to a lot of this is just sticking with the experience of now. Fully, 100% devoted. Even if you're doing more than one thing. Again, for example, in Zen, there's a story that there was a Zen master who was asked by a student monk once, what is enlightenment? Now, I don't think this is a good definition of enlightenment, but it does point to one aspect of it. The Zen master replied, when hungry eat, when tired sleep. And the student, puzzled, said, well, doesn't everybody do that? And the master said, no, when people are hungry, they don't just eat. They think of 10,000 things, something to that effect. But basically, they're not really eating, they're distracted. And that's why in Zen temples, people are not allowed to talk or do anything while eating. When you're eating, you're just eating. That's it. Now, I don't think we have to be that austere and monastic in the homes, because I know in my family, we eat dinner together as a family, and it's nice to socialize and bond over a meal. But the trick is to, even though you're doing two things now, you're eating and socializing. So yes, I may not be fully aware of what I'm eating. The predominance of my attention is on just being with my family, listening to them, replying to them, not thinking about what I gotta do after dinner, not imagining and daydreaming about something entirely different, not pondering the past, just being with my family. That is the one thing I'm really kind of focusing on. Secondarily, eating. I kind of, go in and out of tasting the food. And I guess sometimes I'm eating rather absent-mindedly, not noticing the food, but, my attention is on my family. And I think that, we got to figure out what's important. The thinking isn't the important part. We like to think and imagine way too much. Thinking has taken a pivotal role in many people's lives. We have to figure out what we want to put our attention on in the now. And so if you want to be with somebody and listen to them and talk to them, do that. If you're munching popcorn at the same time, that's okay. So it's not that you must only do one item, but you got to figure out what you want to focus on. And so, something to ponder. Now, I've studied the martial arts, and when you're like doing Tai Chi, for example, which I've practiced for many years, you're just doing that. You're just with the motion. A lot of times when actually all the time when I'm woodworking, I'm just woodworking. I'm carving the wood and working with the wood. I'm not thinking about other things. By and large, I think most of my time is spent just with what I'm doing at the moment. But sometimes you want to multitask a little bit. But the trick is to not be thinking constantly about unrelated things that aren't in the here and now. Let the past and future go. Stick with the present. Have the attention on the present. And as best as you can, do one thing at a time. Thank you much.